Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be discussing any possible locations for any dungeon in the long awaited sequel to Breath of the Wild. If you enjoy Zelda games, please leave a like and subscribe now. And with that out of the way, let's get on with the video. Oh, and also, press that bell. Number 1. The Arbiters Grounds. I'm going to start this list off with a fairly obvious guess at a dungeon location, as this has been a dungeon in the past. Its only appearance has been within the darker, yet still interesting, Twilight Princess, another great game in the Zelda series. In the Twilight Princess, the Arbiters Grounds is the desert type of dungeon in Twilight Princess, just as the Spirit Temple is in the Ocarina of Time. If Breath of the Wild 2 completes the themed dungeon format that has been used in the past with many other games, then the Arbiters Grounds could be used for the desert theme as it has been in the past. This would be most likely the case if some areas in the map float into the sky as Hyrule Castle did in the teaser. One thing that made us prove this is that the Arbiters Grounds has been explored in the past in the Hero of Twilight adventure. For this location, we're going to have to wait for the sequel. Number 2. The Forgotten Temple. Again, if we're to believe that the developers will go back to the old ways in which they use themed dungeons, then of all the places, one of the better places, along with one other I'll mention later, to host a darker themed temple could be the Forgotten Temple, as the theme of loneliness presents itself in the title of the temple, Forgotten. I think that a labyrinth could be found somewhere past the colossal goddess statue that blocks your way with great puzzles and an old Zelda feel. I think that this is very likely. Number 3. The Depths of Lake Hylia. Now then, let's rewind. It's 2017. I've just bought Breath of the Wild from the nearest shop, anticipating an amazing game. That I would get. I finished the Great Plateau tutorial, and I run straight down to a giant Lake Hylia. I run into the water expecting to be able to go to the depths of it. That I could not. Imagine if there's a water temple housed underneath the Lake Hylia, as you cannot see the bottom of the lake in the current game. However, imagine if there were flippers that you could use, or something close to that, and explore a great water temple freely, just as the Hero of Time did in the Ocarina of Time. Number 4. Spectacle Rock. Many people may not actually understand where Spectacle Rock is and the relevance into the Zelda series that this specific place has. So before I go on, let me explain. Let's go back to the NES seller, the original Legend of Zelda. You go through the game at your own pace and you reach the last dungeon. It is there where you move onto the screen with those 2 rocks, also known as Spectacle Rock, that you blow up. This moves you into the dungeon. Now take a look at the photo of Spectacle Rock in Breath of the Wild. One of their 2 rocks contains a Sheikah Tower, and do you notice that too? It seems as if there could be a space in the middle of the left rock full of giant zonai structures, thereby making possibly the best and one of the only rock themed or earth themed dungeons. I think this would be a great reference and Easter egg to the old games and would satisfy newer fans alike. Number 5. The Statue of the 8th Heroine. If you've played Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild and finished it, you may know of this location in the Gerudo Highlands, paired with the Forgotten Sword that's found on the summit of the Gerudo Highlands. Let's skip back. In the Gerudo Desert, there are 7 different statues, all holding different weapons, and within those 7 statues, there is a space for an 8th, the same heroine that lies in the Gerudo Highlands. As you can see here, it's as if the statue is cemented to the wall. However, if it's a statue, it should be its own thing, meaning that the statue must be movable, as the giants who moved it in the past did so. They may have done it for a reason, opening up a new dungeon, maybe a snow-ridden dungeon. Number 6. Akala Citadel. If you don't know where I'm talking about, then let me remind you. Does anybody remember when they climbed up to Akala Tower? The climb that you made to get to the base of that tower was you climbing Akala Citadel, which has been abandoned for many years. A giant castle looking down on the rest of the Hyrule, a colossal piece of construction that I think could also house another dark themed dungeon. Just as I think that the Forgotten Temple could be a darker dungeon. This is my final dark themed guess. If Kakariko had a graveyard in Breath of the Wild, then that would be my primary guess. Number 7. The Zonai Ruins. This guess is heavily relying on the teaser trailer for The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. However, in the teaser trailer, in one of the first scenes in the background of everything else, stones are found. Not just any stones, but stones that are carved to look as if they were made by the Zonai tribe. The Zonai Ruins are at the south of Hyrule in Breath of the Wild. This furthers my point because no other dungeon locations that I've mentioned so far have been located there. This is evidence, as no other Zelda games put any dungeons directly next to each other. I don't think the Giant sequel will achieve that. Number 8. Hebra Peak. In Breath of the Wild, a giant portion of the map is taken up by an area known as the Hebra Peaks. Located in the northwestern corner of the map, and in Breath of the Wild, this area has a whole lot of nothing. Sure, there are some Leviathan bones that can be seen inside one of the mountains, but this also gives us a shrine. Apart from this, the only other interesting thing in this area is the giant hole in Hebra Peak that many believe was made by a Divine Beast test attack in the past, but we can only theorise on that. I think it would be great if the entrance of a dungeon in Hebra Peak was lying beneath a thick layer of snow that us players could get down using some sort of item, rendering us into a giant ice dungeon abyss that takes hours to finish, with great mini bosses and an ice themed boss. Once again, I thank you for watching this video. If you're wondering why I cut it to 8, it's actually because in Ocarina of Time there were 8 dungeons that you could thoroughly explore, apart from the side dungeon. So I hope you enjoyed. I'll be uploading weekly now, so please do subscribe for weekly Zelda content, and also please do follow my Instagram on the screen now and in the description. Until next time, bye bye.